Boom, 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 boomers. This is a little bit different from when we did like the test game from a couple of days ago, because it was pointed out to me that there is actually a mod which does this. So we are currently playing with the Sweet Home California mod, which basically takes the fragmented start world setting thing, which is in the base Old World Blues, and adds focuses to a bunch of the different nations and adds a little bit more flavour. And one of the nations, which now has a focus tree, are the Boomers. So the Boomers have a focus which makes them really go to odds with the Sky Reavers, for example, and allows you to do a couple of interesting things, like go Super Isolationist, you can go New Vegas Aligned, or you can do something else. And then there are a bunch of others. So one of the kind of issues that I had with the Fragmented World is, yes, the NCR and the Legion are gone, but there's no way of recreating them. And now there are. So Shady Sands Republic can effectively form the NCR. I don't know if it's like one nation or if it's like an alliance or something. I haven't actually tested that. But Shady Sands Republic can now form the NCR, just like the Blackfoot over here can form the Legion. And I was wondering earlier if it was going to be Flagstaff or if it was going to be the Phoenix Republic, which forms the Legion, but no, it's actually Blackfoot, and that is lore appropriate because I just did some Fallout New Vegas and I found someone who was like in Caesar's earliest tribes, and Caesar's tribe is the Blackfoot. So Blackfoot can form the Legion, Shady Sands Republic can form the NCR, and there are a bunch of other things. So, for example, the Hub has a focus tree. Where are they? Sky Reavers, I believe, have one. Hopeville has an enormous focus tree. Just a bunch of like the minor powers of this era have focus trees. I think this is still technically post Caesar, but it's kind of redressed to be pre. But we'll see. The other thing I should mention is this mod was formerly, as of this morning, called Sweet California, but apparently the mod team collapsed or something, and it's now been taken over. And it's now called Sweet Home California, and it has a different link on the workshop. And actually, that's one thing I should probably do, is create a link to all the mods that I'm currently playing with. So let me just do that real quick, using my own link to bring up the link to this. Okay, so current series, this is, oops, come on. And I will properly populate this later. This is Hearts of Iron 4, Old World Blues, and we are playing with Old World Blues, Enclave Reborn, Old World Blues Music, Enclave Reborn Unit Names, Sweet Home California. Oh, and player-led peace conferences. Player-led peace conferences. So this is the most modded I've ever done Hearts of Iron 4. So if you are watching on Twitch, then you can do the exclamation mark mods and it will show you what I'm playing with. If you're watching this on YouTube, then go and join us on Twitch and do exclamation mark mods, because it's much better getting all this stuff live. So yeah, there we go. We are going to be playing as the Boomers, led of course by Mother Pearl. And this time I don't think we need to change any of the custom game rules. In fact, I think the custom game rules are still the base nations. They're not the new ones, which doesn't surprise me. Submod, not actual proper mod. Also, I realise there's no sound playing right now. Let me just go and fix that. Okay, so we are the Boomers, which were led by Vault 34, and I've already released a bug report, because even though it says clearly up here the Boomers are Vault 34, it says our flight from Vault 22. We're not Vault 22. We're not the Organics. We're the gun people. And unfortunately our Vault is not on the map at first. I understand why they said Vault 22, because 22 is actually on the map, but 24 isn't. 34 isn't. So, let's get started with this. Our flight from 22. See, this is just wrong. Vault 34 is the... I'm going to make up my own introduction. The Overseer tried to steal our guns, and we can't be having that, so we left the vault, taking a bunch of our guns with us. That's our start, right there. Alright, so other changes from the fragmented world is you'll notice that we are not just one province, we're actually 4. Ruby Hill, I don't remember what Ruby Hill was, I think it was part of New Vegas, as was Jacobstown in fact. Yeah, all 4 of these used to be part of New Vegas. New Vegas is now just a one province minor, so I'll be kind of interested to see exactly what happens with that. I suspect that New Vegas is still going to be an industrial juggernaut. It's just going to be somewhat more limited in their resources, whereas we have become quite a lot bigger with a fair amount more manpower. The other thing you'll notice is the Great Khans. They're just gone. This is one part of the mod which I'm not massively happy with. I think it would have made a lot more sense if we were just this big, with focuses to go after the Khans and with focuses to go after Area 51. But the Khans have basically been incorporated into our nation, because we start with a national focus, which is the Bitter Khans. Non-core manpower -35, recruitable population -1, foreign subversives, activity efficiency +20, and then effective partisans. So it's basically very difficult for us to expand into other provinces. And in fact, these two not cores. Oh no, they are cores. See, if these two started as non-cores, then that would probably make even more sense. In that case, I'd be like, yeah, okay, fair enough. Yes, Chibi, you were the one who put me onto this mod, so thank you for that. This is why Marshall was asking me where the sweet California mod went. Yeah, I had a bit of a panic when I got up and was like, okay, let's just go make sure everything's ready for this. Where's California gone? And then I checked the submod section on Old World Blues Discord, and the very last message was, we've taken over the mod, it's now on this link. Oh, okay then. And yeah, everything seems to be there. So yeah, we do need to deal with the Khans, and the Khans is going to be down here. I don't want to scroll too far down, because that's going to give a few things away. But basically, a lot of our future is going to involve the Sky Reavers. So once we've dealt with these, it opens up these 3 sections. So we have the deal with Vegas, cracking open the blast doors, and that's basically the vault in the Sky Reavers area, and then cutting the trade ties. So it's super isolationist, going out in the world, kind of like the Mojave Brotherhood, have that choice, and then going all out Sky Reaver with stuff. Alright, we're going to do my fairly standard thing of infrastructure, although actually before we do that, let's just double check to see if we get infrastructure from anywhere. Bitter Springs, 1 infrastructure in Nellis. Ooh, 3 infrastructure in Nellis and 2 everywhere else. Okay, so Nellis is going to get 3, everywhere else is going to get 2. So you want to go up to level that, and then I think North Passage is actually going to be the best one to upgrade. And we'll upgrade you, and we'll upgrade you. I did notice that we have a bunch of focuses which just give us workshops and not building slots, which sucks. Okay, so this one just gives us building slots but no factories. And then these ones just give us factories but no building slots. Okay. So I don't think we're going to be as ridiculously industrial in just Nellis as we were in my test game. There was an old mod called Shattered Wasteland that did the same thing, but to a lesser degree, and that one vanished when 2.8 came to be. Yeah, apparently this is like the spiritual successor to Shattered Wasteland. I think it even says that in the description. But it's a different team as far as I'm aware. Shattered Wasteland apparently had some mod development team issues, as effectively did this one. The other thing I want to point out is if we go to the support section, you will remember that we were talking about artillery not existing. Oh no, the pictures have gone. Oh, that's a change. Okay, so this is slightly different from... I ran a test game of Sweet California before it became Sweet Home California, and this was actually artillery, as was this. And you actually started with Tier 3 artillery, which is ever so slightly OP. I think we'd still get access to it. Yeah, AM-75 artillery gun. So, like, different factions can have their own unique pictures for different items. This is actually an artillery. So we technically have artillery, though I don't think they're actually any more powerful than just having a grenade launcher, which is a little bit weird. And the boomers don't seem to have any artillery upgrades. Apparently there is a boomer update coming. They are like redoing the boomers, so we'll be able to compare that in the future. But we do actually technically have artillery now as the boomers. Don't think we have... Oh, no, we started... No, that was in... Okay, so there are two different test games. There's the one that I did on stream, where we actually start with planes, and we do still start with planes. And then there was the test game of this mod, but the previous version of this mod. So I'm going to say it's the test game and the prototype. The prototype had the artillery pictures. And we do still start with planes, so we are going to probably start making some of those. Cool! Construction, agriculture, and yeah, power is going to be another issue. So that was the other, not really bug report, that was a suggestion I submitted, is the very first quest you're given as the boomers is to repair their solar arrays. So the fact that the boomers don't start with any energy and don't have anything on their focus to provide energy, I was like, yeah, that should be fixed. Especially if you're expected to use aircraft, which require energy to fly. Boomers is in the work in progress sections, the mod's still really early on. Yeah, I realise. There's only a couple of factions which have actually been completed. Let me just go and bring up the overview. There it is. So the important ones... Oh no, these ones they're saying are complete. Dayglow, Reading, Fort Summers, Iron Alliance, Boomers, Shady Sands, Barons Republic, the Hub and the Brotherhood of Steel. Have they taken away Blackfoot then? I'm surprised that Blackfoot's not mentioned now. No, Blackfoot's still very much Legion. And interesting, Iron Alliance apparently has a focus. I had not noticed that. Yes, they do. Interesting. It looks like they can become a brotherhood. That's a lot of mutually exclusives. And this should already be giving you an idea of just how big some of the focus trees in this game are. I was going to say that Hopeville has the biggest one. I think that this one might actually be winning. Let's actually just go and take a look at Hopeville, just because I've mentioned it once or twice before. Yeah, Hopeville's also kind of massive and has a lot of stuff going on. And I will, spoilers, say that this mod has a real thing for the Enclave. Like about a billion different factions can form the Enclave. I am playing with Enclave Reborn, so I'm hoping that that doesn't screw with things. I did double check New Reno just to make sure that New Reno didn't have anything else going for it. It doesn't. So we do have Enclave Reborn, so fingers crossed that doesn't break stuff. And then who else was there? Hubologists is new. The Hub is new. The Hub is a really big focus tree, and some people have been saying the Hub's ever so slightly overpowered because they have the potential to develop a ton of industry very, very quickly. I think the Barons Republic have a focus? No. Yes. Yes, they do. And a lot of these focuses are based on mercenaries. So I'm hoping that they make use of the cap system. Or at least in the future. Arroyo, does Arroyo have a focus tree? No. New Victoria does. I remember seeing that. Yep, New Victoria does. Relatively small in comparison to some of the other stuff. Still huge, based on like Hearts of Iron 4 vanilla sizes, but still. Timekeepers? No. Anyway, so yes, there is a lot of stuff going on in this mod, which is kind of cool. Heads up, that leader should be for the Enclave in Navarro, so it might be screwing them. There's a tiny Enclave faction nudge between the ridge and the sea. These guys. Oh no, Navarro. Okay. Alright, let me quit this real quick. And then I'll restart this without Enclave Reborn. Just in case. Like, that's probably not intended to be going together. So, mods. And Paradox just launched a launcher update. And one of the really cool updates is you can now arrange mods manually. So I have like all of the Old World Blues together. I have all Kaiserreich together. It's actually quite nice. So way easier to fix this type of thing. Done. And then play. Well spotted there, Chibi. Thank you. I think that's going to be the only overlapping issue. Everything else is just plain old World Blues and player-led peace conferences. No bug in the game did not crash. I'm reloading. Likely because they use the same Enk start position. Yes, I would think so. So, single player, new game, select other countries. Yes, he's saying the Great Khans are still playable, but where are they? I'm not sure that this is correct. And we're playing as the Boomers. New Reno doesn't have the Enclave anymore, and that's still there. Okay, that looks a little bit better. So, do these guys have a different focus tree? Yes, they do. This is a different focus tree. Because the Enclave next to New Reno still had the Enclave Reborn focus. Alright, cool. Let's go back to choosing what we wanted to build, because that's the only thing that we've lost. So you're going to go up to level 7. You're going to go up to level 8. So are you. And so are you. Alright, marvellous. Let's start our flight from 34. And then the research. Did it give me back my artillery? No. So I have a feeling this is a slightly older version of this mod than the one that was up there yesterday. Doctrine? Okay, so here's one of the questions. If we... I'm going to have to do spoilers here because I'm going to need to look. If we weren't Vegas aligned, because I don't think I'm going to do cracking open the blast doors. I'm not that interested. I don't think we get robots. Maybe. No. So I think we're going to go conventional this time around. Because we're going to get a lot of bonuses to production. As far as I can tell. Although if we went robotics, we could get some crazy high production efficiency. Max factories in state plus 50%. Okay, now I understand why we don't get building slots. No, we are going to go refined. Sorry, automated, rather, so we can get the production efficiency ranking up. And we'll go with the automation because I do want to get support bots. We're going to do the same, like, basic idea. We can actually get upgraded guns, so we may as well. We can get upgraded artillery, so we may as well. Then I also want to get Triplane attackers, biplane attackers, and support equipment. And we have most of the resources required for all of this. Okay, good. Oh yeah, you're right. This should actually be agriculture. And you should be construction. Good point. I just totally forgot about them. Alright, do we start with any generals? We do not. That's fine. Any decisions? We can get rid of the intros. We'll do that. Clearing Vault 22. Again, we're not Vault 22. We're Vault 34. I think that's why it gave us Ruby Hill. It shouldn't have. Where is Vault 34? Vault 34 would be about here. But it makes no sense that we would have access to 34. 34 isn't even listed. Even though there's definitely stuff you can do there. Vault 34. Our home was irradiated by rebels and was going to blow up, so we had to flee. As we fled from the vault, what did we take with us? Security equipment. We get special forces gear. Heavy machine guns, squad automatic weapons, anti-tank weapons, or infantry equipment. I definitely like the idea that we take one of the technologies. Special Forces gear would give us access to power armor with artillery. Which I kind of like the idea of. So we're going to take the security equipment. Alright, next. Arrival at Nellis. With our flight from Vault 34, we must find a new home. The nearby Air Force base will suit us just fine. I wonder if it was the Khans that they fought in Nellis. I'm not sure. Because there were raiders in Nellis before the boomers arrived. They used their superior firepower to kick them out. How far down the focus tree go? Fair amount. Max Factories in State is probably my favourite national spirit. Yeah, it's pretty powerful. Oh, it did give us... Oh, hello! Special Forces. Pretty good Special Forces. Depending on what they're short on. They're short on equipment. Oh, that's the equipment that it gave us. Okay, that makes sense. Cool. And they start out elite as well. Power armor plus artillery is the ultimate boomers. Yeah, with robot frontline support, should be good. The boomers even use robots. I just remembered. They have Mr. Gutsy patrolling the base. This makes complete sense. Although I really do wish that they had a unique artillery unit, rather than just shoehorning it in as... excuse me, new artwork. They actually had a unique item. The arrival at Nellis was a relief for the dwellers of Vault 34. They had found a defensible, spacious environment with access to water and potential electricity. See? Electricity! There was only so many spare parts and advanced tech that they brought with them, so they had to prioritise what they needed the most out of the husk of Nellis. Communications and simulation. This is the most... Oh, here's the solar arrays. Okay, so they do have solar array stuff going on. It's an event rather than a focus. So, communications and simulations. This gives us the VR simulation. Division organisation, supply consumption down, air superiority plus 10, supply grace. Living quarters and warehouses gives us free tribal huts and adobe housing and stability, which we don't need. The solar arrays, which gives us basic, advanced, and resource production. And energy cell gain per energy plus 15%. That's pretty powerful. Also 3 power stations. Or the Nellis hydroponic system. Organised agriculture and seed selection. Seed selection we're already researching. Infrastructure plus 10 population. I'm going to go with the solar arrays because that's what I was complaining about. So apparently that already exists. Plus the fact it came with 3 technologies. We've gotten used to our new home. It's time to put our people's drives to work. The archives within the Nellis computer system were heavily damaged. They were mostly corrupted and knew that if they tried to retrieve information from the computers for useful research and schematic production, they would lose any other relevant information. They had to choose which information was valuable at that time. So we can get robotics engineering, aeronautical engineering, automotive engineering, or combat operation logs. I mean, the aeronautical gives us 5 research bonuses. And they're 75%ers. So I'm going to say this is between robotics, combat operations, and aeronautical. I mean, with the boomers, aeronautical just makes the most sense. The tipping point. Our leader, Mother Pearl, is growing in age. It is only a matter of time. So what does this get us? The lost contact with the survey team is now the least of our problems. A plant-based infection was sealed within Vault 22 and has infected them. We could either set up a quarantine area and try to research the effects of the infection, or we could research it for population growth. Or a security team, but we core it. I mean, it's already a core. So we're going to take the spore carrier research. I'm guessing that's still a bit of it that's under construction. Because really the boomers should have this cord and then these 3 would be colonies. In fact, I still think they shouldn't start with Vault 22. That's purely because of incorrect information. Maybe in the future they can get a unique artillery piece schematic. Yes, that's true. Although I still think it would just be easiest and probably coolest if they just got special artillery. Oh, there's no special support stuff on the right. Like these. This is what I'm talking about. Have this unique category with, like, regular artillery and then, like, howitzers. This has got to be an older version of Old World Blues. So I don't remember these icons looking that way. Yeah, and the ships... Oh no, that's the same. In pre 2.0, Old World Blues dynamite upgraded to grenades and then to howitzers. Interesting. Someone on Discord asking about the fan meat. An explanation about some of the columns in the spreadsheet. Is there any one person could talk to or something? Leave it to me after the stream. Let me just take a quick look.